Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Malt and Meeples, where today we are going to be launching into ISS Vanguard. Apologize for the noise in the background. Tried to warn. Was told that wouldn't be an issue. We'll see if it is. But today we are going to be doing the setup and maybe a little bit of the first exploration here for ISS Vanguard. But before we get to that, I have the app set up, and let's see the start of our story. Or here, the start of our story.
Good morning, crew. If you're hearing this, it means you belong to a small group of essential personnel waking up in the first wave. Let me bring you up to speed. For the last 2 years, Vanguard has been cruising safely to our destination, following alien coordinates to the main objective of our mission. 5 days ago, we switched off the Alcubierre drive and dropped to sub-light speed. You might feel a bit heavy on the main deck. Gravitational compensators keep deceleration down to a slightly uncomfortable 2G. The red zones on the ship are locked and off limits, unless you want to experience what 90G feels like. We're now approaching our target. So far, sensors aren't picking up anything, but don't let that get you down. We're still a ways off, and...
Collision course alert. Action required.
Report. What's going on?
Sir, we're detecting a massive cloaked object directly in our path. The calculations show we're 3 weeks from impact.
Begin evasive maneuvers.
Sir, this object is several times larger than our solar system, a diameter of nearly 200 astronomical units. Considering our current speed, I'm not sure we'll be able to adjust the course in time.
How could we miss something this big?
The object employs some active cloaking technology and does not seem to have any gravitational interactions with nearby systems.
Sergeant He, are the section leaders awake?
Yes, sir.
Get them up here and lock down the bridge. Not a word of this to anyone. We don't want to cause a panic on board.
So there we have it. The first bit of story for ISS Vanguard. Let me know if that is too quiet. That was cranked all the way up on my phone. Because we're going through the different steps here. I have everything kind of set up on the table. I'll show that off here now. And so some of this is already done. But there are certain things, I'll move the ISS Vanguard, that I haven't done yet, such as pick out the crew. These are the starting crew members you can get if you go through and pick out, kind of run through the tutorial. I'm familiar with the tutorial, and so these are really stiff cards. I don't have a great spot to shuffle. Let me try again here. Give them a little go here. This might be the way to shuffle. Say, we'll start with this top section up here, our recon team. Recon, generally you'd be looking for, that might not be shuffled well enough. It's all a singular type. So let's do a couple smaller shuffles, split, smaller shuffle. 1, Do the classic split and shuffle. Hopefully this will get us a better mix than last time. If not, I feel more confident that this is a good shuffle than I did last time. So, we have a protector, a well-trained, so Utimio Veliz, Camille Najar, and Petra Sedlakova. Anytime, spend a charge to draw 2 cards from your section. When a crew member in your sector would gain an injury, can spend 1 charge to discard it with an injury die instead. Spend 1 charge to refresh a die and draw 1 additional card while resting. Sorry, Petra. Getting slotted back into the mix. These are the 2 that we're going to lean towards. One of them will be on our first expedition. Other one will not. Now, let's repeat that process for security. Andrew McVeigh. He can spend a charge to assist a crew member in any sector. Thabisia Gbeo. She can refresh any dice. Now I'm wondering... Sorry, let me look here. As I look, I just want to make sure, like, there are 1, 2, and 3s. They have a mishmash of those, so we are good here. So drawing or assisting, we're gonna go with Thabisia because there's most reds, and Rika de Graaf. Then, next up we have yellow, which is engineering. Engineering has blue and red dice, so we're looking for blue and red colors. And we got a blue, so we'll probably keep that one. Abby Knight, during a die check, spend 1 charge to choose a crew member assisting you to turn one of their rolls to any result. So Theo Sekalios can gain more experience, basically, the rank up stuff, which we haven't talked about yet, or can spend a charge to ignore the result of an injury die. Sorry, Theo. No go. And finally, science, which is green and blue. I feel like we don't have a ton of green yet, so let's see if we get any green. 1 green and 2 blue. So wild card. During the dice check, if at least 2 are wild, spend a charge to move all dice with a negative result to spent pool, so you don't have to deal with a negative consequence. Terry Isaac. Excuse me. That was Amir Zanab. Terry Isaac, spend 1 charge to gain a discovery from a deck with the lead tokens of value of 2. That will make more sense as we go. Spend 1 charge to draw a chosen card from your discard pile. Amir, sorry. You look great, but Now go. We return the crew. As I work on my gin and tonic. So, preparing the section cards and dice. I already have the section dice set up. And I don't have to take everybody on here if I don't want to. But we'll be setting up rank 1 characters for every section, even if they don't go on this initial mission. And most likely they won't. Most likely I'm going to be doing 2 characters. You do have to do 2. It allows you to mix and match the sections as you go. So maybe for this first one I'll try 4. See what it's like. I suspect I'm not going to finish the whole thing, but let's get our characters in here. So I could have Abby. Abby can assist or choose any assisting crew member. So that is very solid for her. And then like solo, choose 2 sections. So yeah, move. I'm now wondering. I'm going to do this just in case this is how it's supposed to work. I'm giving everybody a rank 1 here. So even the crew members who they don't go on the mission, I'll know which section they went with. So like Abby Knight is going, but on my resting crew we have Bukala. Yeah, missed the rest of the name. For my recon team, we are going to go with Camille, Najar, and Mutio Villis will be our resting crew member. Thabesia Gabo or Rika de Graaf for security. Thabesia, you are the choice here. Sorry, Rika, you are actually not maybe an ideal one to have in that group, but we'll unlock more characters as we go. So then Bolahan Musa or Terry Isaac. Bolahan, you will be going with us this time because I want somebody with green. Not sure how helpful it's going to be, but we have that. Then we prepare the section cards. So section cards, we find all of them that are marked for rank 1 players. Now I'm actually only going to be taking 2 of these groups with me. So I'm going to decide that now and clean up the other 2, putting their characters. Um, over to the resting crew. And you know what? I'm going to go engineering and security. For their dice, show this off. Section cards, I'm guessing. Those might even be tutorial specific. I'll set the character aside. Character aside. You might be like, oh, how are you picking? I don't know. I'm just picking. So these two I will also set aside. And then for blue, I'm going to take all one, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stick those in there. Didn't tell me not to. Didn't tell me to either, but they're generally pretty good about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, bet you like emergency shelter. No. Huh? I was gonna say, I bet you they have 2 of those cards in there. They do not. So take these. Shuffle and place them face down next to the crew member. So this is why I did switch over to 2. I now have room for this, which is, it's nice. It's good to have room. So we have a card limit of 2. Set up the planet. That is our next thing to do. We are already open to the right page. The tutorial rank up card goes above. To increase their ranks after planetary exploration, your team will need to fulfill a specific task listed on the rank up card to gather enough success. In this exploration, you'll only need to gather 3 rank up. Once you do, flip this card over to the completed side. Then, we need our first mission. M001. Face up. The spot below unique discovery. Mission regroup. Scattered across. Make sure there's nothing we're supposed to listen to. Objective is regroup in Sector 4. Don't forget to listen to the log there. As well as then, it tells us Unique Discovery 1. the 5 tutorial event cards. So even though we're not playing the tutorial, we still have the tutorial event cards next to the planet board. For each section, and then one in Sector 1 and one in Sector 2. We'll move the Vanguard. Just have that flying off here in space. Should get a space playmat to put underneath this. If I had the ISS Vanguard, or not the ISS Vanguard, the Stars of Ikarios one, I might use that. Then, turn token. I'm not going to bother grabbing that. I never remember to use them when I have them. Charges slots empty, and read the mission aloud. Objective: regroup in Sector 4. All crew members need to be present at the same time to complete this objective. Hint: whenever someone enters Sector 4, don't forget to go to the log entry listed there. Completion: fulfill this objective. You'll be asked to discard this mission. We have unlimited supplies. And begin your exploration. Go to log 1.
You've heard the briefing, so I'll keep this short. ISS Vanguard is now barreling at 300,000 kilometers per hour toward an alien-made sphere, larger than our own solar system. Our engineers are trying everything to decelerate and alter our collision course, but that might not be possible without endangering the crew's health and the ship's integrity. You're our plan B. We're sending you forward to scout the object and determine its composition and structure. We need to know how close we can get without endangering Vanguard. We've equipped your lander with additional fuel and extra supplies. If Vanguard flies past the sphere, it might take months for us to reconnect. This means you won't have any cargo space for any additional equipment. Due to your rapid awakening, you may also feel not at your best. We hope the effects of the torpor chamber fade before you reach your objective. Godspeed.
Capcom, this is the away team. We're approaching the target. Our short-range scans detect an outer shell of unknown carbon allotrope that seems to absorb all emissions. We have no way of knowing what's inside.
We're already crunching your data, away team. I'll let you know if we find anything.
No wonder we couldn't detect this thing. It was literally built to be invisible.
Should we attempt a landing?
No, we're not sure how resilient the structure is. Make a closer flyby and deploy a sample gathering drone.
Roger, Vanguard. We're...
Wait, I'm detecting something on the surface of the sphere. A metallic object embedded in its shell. Look here. The surface around it is cracked, almost as if it crashed into it. It's turning toward us? We're hit! It's shooting at us! It's some sort of automated sentry, anchored on the sphere!
Abort. Do you copy, away team? Abort mission now.
You've crashed on the surface of an alien object. The recon section player, if we had one, determines our starting player. Basically, we can assign a starting player, and then actions left. We can have a little turn available token. to let you know who's available to go. But we're going to start with our security group here. See what they can do. I fully expect not to get through this first scenario tonight. Let's see what we have. Security. So roll dice. The only way out of the tail part of the lander is blocked by a heavy buckled bulkhead. So I roll one of these. I'm looking for the compass, the arm, or a Vanguard symbol is always a good thing. Have 2 failures on this die. I'm actually going to roll 2 dice here. So we gain an experience for our rank up card, which is just, of course, off screen. And then it tells us to replace it with P101. Outer surface. We can't reach the other part of the lander via the surface, but we could descend into the honeycomb structure below. So we could roll all 3 of these, gain unique discovery 1, and replace with card P000. Failure, roll a danger die. Can only do 1 special action a turn. So I could also travel. To travel, it's just the travel symbol. Roll a die, or spend a die, or roll a danger die to move to a connected sector. There's a specific one over here for the tutorial. We're going to risk it. Risk it for the biscuit. We gain an injury, but it's just a scratch. It's just a scratch. If you have just a scratch injury, you cannot gain another injury. If you gain another injury, ignore it. I do believe that, and this is something I'm going to have to look at here for gaining injuries. But I don't fail my movement, so we'll check out that log in a second. So I gain an injury die. I can place it at the top of any of the columns. All right. We're not down into the section where we'd have to lose that one over to the spent pool because we don't have that many available. So, dice check. Injury dice. So they would have certain effects that get activated as you go. But we do go to log 227.
Do you read me? I'm now under the surface of the sphere. It seems that the cloaking panels rest on a delicate carbon mesh, sparse enough to squeeze through.
Good. We can use this to navigate under chasms and cracks.
I wonder how deep it goes.
Stay focused on your mission. We need to regroup first.
Roger that.
One P109. Carbon mesh. There's no way forward, only a labyrinth of tiny passages. So, we're still trying to get up above. To do that, take your crew member and any number. So it's blocked to go this way. Looks like doesn't have the connecting path. You can see over here that symbol. So while you can go this way back, you're always having to do this check here where you can squeeze through. However, I have done both my actions. So now we're going to head up to go with Abby Knight. Crash site. The lander's front half is buried in the delicate carbon surface. The plasma from the salvo still melts through the hull. So, save supplies. Yeah, we're going to save supplies. We're going to roll 3 dice. And we're trying not to get any exclamation point symbols. Because with this save, we start here. 1, 2, 3. Gain another one of these. We're getting close to our rank up. And it tells us to replace it with point of interest P102. I think I stuck some of these in the wrong spot. P102. Okay. all of those seem right. But I have a few more here. Should have known they wouldn't be in order. Recovered supplies. We don't have to worry about food or oxygen for a long while. So there's an aid station that requires use of a green and a blue that would get rid of the injury card as well as the injury die. And then over here can draw section cards. Now wondering if we were supposed to have drawn any section cards beforehand. It doesn't say so. So we're assuming no. So let's continue. So we've gone there. Costs a die to move. Can't do a special action. Already did that. So we're going to... What does the rest action do? So I can get 2 dice back. Gonna do that and draw a section card. I'm just gonna have them set up here. That one basically says during his dice check, re-roll a die. A little bit of respite. On kind of the generic symbol, I can refresh. So there we have it. The end of round 1. Exertion dice checks. Double check what exertion is. Getting rid of, that is the get rid of a die. Some good examples. So I've already did one thing slightly wrong. At the end of each crew member's turn, not at the end of each round, resolve. So that so I don't see a matching icon. We progress all time tracks by 1. We don't have any time tracks out there. Then, hey, time passes again. Feeling that's going to be a theme here. I really want that unique discovery, but I also want to be able to get up there. So most of these sides are not bad for me for just a scratch, but we're going to pass it over. Like I said, I'm never going to remember to use that. To Abby to start. We'll spend that die. Doesn't really matter what I end up on. Actually, it's just a straight up spend. 3 log 311.
Away team, exploration report 1C.
The darkness and silence of an eons-old structure enveloped me. The carbon mesh formed small tunnels, their network sprawling under the pitch-black surface of the sphere. I set up a radio beacon to notify the other survivors of my location, and sat there, in the dim light of the flashlight, trying not to think too much about who these corridors were made for.
Proceed? No. So we have to read that entry every time. Well, I'm not going to move. So I'm going to just rest, or not rest, but prepare. You have the convert ability of the wild symbol to pickaxe. On a pickaxe symbol, I could refresh 2 blue dice. So now we are trying to get up. We're looking for a compass symbol. Don't have that. Or a computer symbol. Well, this die can be mainly computer symbols for me because of the beast's power. Of course, I get the exclamation point. The exclamation point is a failure, and it tells us to go to log 112.
I'm entering the subsurface. It seems an external shell of the sphere rests on a mesh of something that looks like carbon filaments. Just about large enough to squeeze through. I think I can use them to reach the other parts of this sector.
Be careful. There's no telling how this structure...
Damn!
Away Team 1. I see your heart rate spiking. What's going on?
I seem to be stuck.
There's no one who could assist you at this time. Can you free yourself?
I'll try, Vanguard. Away team out.
You failed. However, in ISS Vanguard, this isn't always a bad thing. Some negative outcomes may open up new possibilities and storylines that are not available after, or that are only available after a failure. Slowly work your way down, call for help. Let's see, we're going to roll the danger die. We're going to use tools. Of course, that burns a die.
Away Team, Exploration Report 1C.
The darkness and silence of an eons-old structure enveloped me.
Yeah, we're familiar. All of us are here now.
Away Team, Exploration Report 1D.
As the last member of the away team appeared in the distance, we felt instant relief. The mission started in disaster, but we were alive. We regrouped, we had some supplies, and we were not far from the designated landing zone. It was time to get to work. First, we needed to make sure that any rescue team sent after us wouldn't suffer the same fate.
Proceed with P105. Technical corridors. Oh. So this would project or propel all time tracks by 2. We remove this from the game. Slot it back in. And put that there. We have 3. Rank up complete. We're good to go.
Away team, exploration report 1E.
The demolition charges we salvaged from the lander could now come in handy. Thanks to the webway of tunnels under the surface of the sphere, we could reach a spot directly under the cannon and blow up the entire portion of the sphere it rests upon. We know it is a safer and faster approach, though it would lead to a gaping hole in the structure and remove a part of its cloaking surface. The giant Dyson sphere would no longer be invisible. Some of us proposed a riskier alternative. We could reach the cannon via the surface, run towards its base, and then find a way to disable it, or destroy it with a much smaller charge placed directly on its side. We put it to a vote.
All players discuss and choose one. In the case of the tie, security section player makes the final decision. Even if they are not in the way team, blow up part of the sphere or disable the cannon. I want to disable the cannon. So mission M02. Find a way to neutralize the cannon in Sector 3. Only way up there is to roll a danger die. The Vanguard knows our last coordinates and will surely send a second team to investigate. Unless we find a way to silence the cannon that brought us down, they are in grave danger. P107 in Sector 3. Bulbous cannon. Sprint to the base of the cannon. So looking for brawn. Anybody could do that after some resting. So a basic and a brawn gets us to replace that card. Before you attempt to reach the cannon, consider resting. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to rest. Get back half the dice and draw my first card. Stroke of Inspiration. On any symbol, roll 1 die from your spent pool and add it to your roll pool. During a check, re-roll a blue die. So I think we can spend any die to get that. But that puts us here at 9:20, so it's been about 50 minutes. We're a little bit later. I want to wrap up here our first session of ISS Vanguard, and well, maybe didn't quite go the best for us, but all things considered, it's not too bad. Ooh, could have my security officer go and So spend that to move. Roll 2 dice there to discard an injury die. And that, and rest. Following turn, have to rest. Interesting. That is an option. And Abby Knight is capable of going up to that cannon. So, fortunately, neither of their symbols are going to help me out. But that's it. That is going to wrap up this session for the night. Hopefully this was fun. This is, still very much early stages of the game, early stages of setup. The scenario we're playing, whether or not you play the tutorial, is the tutorial. It's just not guided as much. I have choices as to what I can do. Like, I could just go over here and harvest alien components if I wanted to. Or I could work my way up here to install a power coupling. What does that mean? Don't know. But right now, I know that I want to go up to the bulbous cannon. I really hope there's not a monster there or something like that. But we will see. With that, like I said, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this was a fun little first taster. This is a tutorial. I expect I have another 45 to 50 minutes left. Really to kind of get through it all. Then it's going to come back, do the ship phase. So it's going to be a slower progression. I might do some 1.5-hour streams, slightly longer, to get through more of a chunk of stuff. Or like if I wrap up a scenario quickly, have the ship book, I might just mess around and do that. Depends on how it goes, but it's going to be the plan for the upcoming at least 10 weeks, maybe more, to play through a good chunk of ISS Vanguard to get a feeling of different planets and different adventures that you can go on. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing. And if you want to know when I go live, subscribing and clicking the notification bell, easiest way. Normally Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central is when I stream. This Wednesday, just because of other life things, it was at 8:30 p.m. And then on Mondays, I also stream at 8:30 p.m. Central Time for both of those. So, I'm trying to remember what else I'm supposed to say. If you like this video, I'll leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know what you think of ISS Vanguard so far. If you've played it yourself, or if you played it, or if you're just watching it here, what you think about the experience. I also have a website that I run called nerdologists.com. The link is in the description below. And that's where I put out a lot of nerdy board game, all sorts of different content. Board game, anime, books, comics, whatever it might be, content. As well as then I have a podcast called 10 Minute Marvel. It's a 30-minute long podcast. It used to be 10 minutes, but now I have a co-host, so it lasts longer. But with that, bottoms up.